if you are born into a middle class family or a humble background, yeah, and you're in your 20s, probably you're in university, or you're in your 30s, yeah, you're already out of school, or maybe you didn't even go to school, yeah, whichever, you got to listen to this. Today is Independence Day and Nigeria is 65. Yeah, looking across the conversations all over social media, it brings to mind a movie I saw recently. The title of that movie is Elysium. The realities in that movie is very similar to the kind of life that, if you're not careful, Nigeria can put you into. You see, now that you are young, you have so many aspirations, you have desires, you have plans for your life. But you see that in that movie, there was someone who was a tool in the hand of the government. Yeah, and very short description of the movie. So the movie was depicted in a dystopian time, that is like far away into the future, where that the earth was no longer sustainable to human life, so they had to move to outer space, where they created another planet. Yeah, so you see that the earth in that time was worse than a ghetto. Think of the worst ghetto you can think of. It was just like that. Then Elysium, which was the name of the new planet, was properly developed. Everything was working well. If you are sick on Elysium, they put you into something like a tube and it heals you, corrects every deformity. Even if you have a broken leg, it fixes that. Life was sweet and comfortable at that place. So just like you now, you are in that state of mind where you are trying to move from the earth in that movie to Elysium, where you have a very comfortable life and all of that. But you see, in that movie, there was a character in that movie. I think his name was Kruger. Kruger was a tool in the hands of the government. His sole responsibility was this: on the planet Earth, there were some people who were like, let's say they were like all these guys that help people cross over from Africa to Europe through the deserts, yeah, something like that, yeah. So they would get their own rockets, and people would pay them a huge sum, and they would try to sneak them into Elysium. So Kruger's responsibility was this: whenever those guys wanted to pass through the back door into Elysium, the moment the government in Elysium, more like border patrol, yeah, people that control the border, customs, once they sense an incoming space shuttle that is unauthorized, they call Kruger. Kruger was living on Earth, but because he was a tool in the hands of the government, he was more like a lord, a king. Just think of him like all these garage boys and the Oga of garage boys. Think of him like that. So they will call him and tell him that there's a rocket that's trying to leave Earth, coming to Elysium, and you should shoot it down. The shooting will not come from Elysium, it will come from Earth. That was Kruger's responsibility, and they paid him where they took care of him. Yeah, that Kruger is a metaphor for some of the things that will not allow you get to that level in life where you're expecting to get to. For some of you, it could just be black tax. For some of you, it could just be habits that you found it difficult to drop. These are some of those things that would shoot down your ambition to get to that place you want to get to. You need to sit with yourself and go after every one of those things that would, one way or the other, prevent your going to the top. It could just be that for some reason you're an introvert. That's beautiful. I know you love being introverted, but you see, in this Nigeria, yeah, your introverted self would not get you the life you want to get. If you're a trust fund baby, you have people you can lean on, yeah. When you get home, you have people you can call. There's no problem. But if you're the first child, or you're the first daughter, or the first son out of many other children, you have so many younger ones, you can't just afford to play this game of life carelessly. These things will come after you. It could be black tax, it could be certain beliefs, it could even be the career path you choose. You need to be careful of every one of those things, yeah, so that you fight it and it helps aid your journey to the top. I wish you all the best. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Bye bye.